It's so good to be back home. Getting emotional. Whew. I was born unlike most people. Well, let me start by saying I'm Aaron Martinez. I was born unlike most people. When I was born, I had drugs in my system. I also had HIV. I was born ripped away from my parents. And I was born alone. My birth name wasn't Aaron Luke Martinez. It was Sergio Jose Torres. The reason why my name switched was because God sent a woman to come and save me and adopt me as her own. Her name is Dusa Martinez. I was the last addition to her family. She became my mom. She fought for me for years. She nurtured me. She loved me back to life. My mom was patient with me. She was a selfless person, a godly woman. My mom was the best mom I could ever ask for. My mom passed away when I was 6 years old on October 18, 2005. She was taken away from me. I remember feeling this rage that stayed with me for many years. This rage got me into a lot of trouble in school. I hated home. I saw everybody moved on and I was stuck. My sister Jackie and her husband Mitch took me and my brother Noah in. They became my guardians. Jackie has 2 daughters, Victoria and Angelica. They became my sisters, and Mitch became my dad. My home was hell for me. I broke walls and windows. I felt alone, rejected, abandoned, and lost. My dad and I got into so many fights that killed our relationship for so many years. I turned it into anger because it was the easiest thing, but it was killing me. Being angry was draining. I was a rebel and I didn't listen to anybody. I got into drugs when I was 15. Something inside of me needed more, and I went from smoking weed to harder drugs. From 2014 to 2020 were the worst years of my life. In that time, I went homeless. I lived in a trap house. I lived in an RV. I lived on streets, going back and forth from home. I lived in abandoned houses. Basically, I couch surfed. While I was using, I didn't have any care in my heart. I didn't care about my family. I didn't care about my sisters. I didn't care that my sister Jackie was up at nights wondering if I was dead or not. I didn't care that my dad was out looking for me most of the nights. I didn't care about my sisters Victoria and Angelica and how they were affected by the decisions that I was making. It hurt to say that I only cared about my next high and when I was going to escape reality. In 2019, I decided to get sober. I went to church and substance abuse counseling. I stayed sober for over 6 months until I relapsed. I died on March 13, 2020 due to an overdose. The next day I went to Huddersfield and soon after came to his mansion. God made it clear to me to drop everything and follow me or keep doing what you want to do. In this last year and 4 months, God transformed me so much from everything that has happened to me through my life. God knew I needed an inner transformation, and He did that. The Lord healed me from my past wounds that I swore to never touch. He showed me the type of freedom that only He could provide. He showed me that He was there when my mom passed away. He showed me that He was there when I was freezing in a car and I had nobody. He showed me that He was there when I was an infant and I was going through withdrawals. I have never been alone because He was with me. I have learned not to run away. I have learned to talk about how I feel. I have learned to respond and not react. I am less angry now than when I was when I got here. The Lord showed me a different way. When I arrived on the hill, I was a lot more anxious about talking about my past. I couldn't talk about the pain from my mom's passing. I couldn't talk about the fights I had with my dad without feeling anxious. I couldn't talk about my shame and guilt because it hurt too much. The Lord healed me from my past, my wounds and the wounds I've caused others. I can now talk about my mom without feeling the loss I felt for years. I can now talk about my wounds from my dad. I can now talk about my shame and guilt because I am free from it. Amen. And I now know that I am not who I used to be. I was able to forgive with the help of Jesus all the people that hurt me, and I was able to forgive myself for what I did to the people around me. I'm still working on that. I was able to let go of bonds that have been attached to me for years. The Lord healed my relationship with my family. I can now say, I love you, and mean it. Finally, I want to declare that I am a child of God, of the cosmos, and nothing can take that away from me. Thank you all for coming and hearing my testimony. I love you all.